Gift. Once I'm in my spot, I don't have to do a thing because Ivan and Ruby always know when I'm there. Gorillas and elephants have great schnauzers too. Also, I pride myself on staying extra fragrant. It's a gift. Ivan. Ivan gets to me first. Bob! He knuckle walls up the hill. Knuckle runs, actually. And it looks like he's glad to see me as I am glad to see him. It seems that I've known Ivan forever, and yet every single time I see him, I feel kinda odd. He's so powerful. He's so huge. Like the magnificent silver mountain that just happens to be my best buddy. Hi, Ivan, Julia calls, waving. He cocks his head and makes a soft belch, which is gorilla for I'm happy. Maya calls out to Julia from the door to the gorilla indoor space. Maya's zoologist, which is a hoity-toity way of saying she has a thing for animals. It was Maya and a lot of other good folks who helped get Ivan and the rest of the mall animals removed from their place to a better place. Julia unhooks my string and gives me a stern look. No funny business, you, she says, and then she kisses me on the head. And stay out of sight. Ivan sidles up close to the stone wall as he can get. I was worried you wouldn't come today, he says, weather and all. Another hurricane, I say. It's freaking everybody out. Above me, magnolia branches away, leaves rustle and in a shiver. Even the trees seem to be uneasy. What's new? Ivan asks. He lies back on the grass and wiggles contentedly, scratching an itch, no doubt. Not much. I had a weird dream last night. I pause. You were in it. Me and Ruby. Oh, and Stella, too. Ivan gazes at the darkening sky. Stella, he says. Now, there was a great friend. Classiest elephant you'd ever hope to meet. The best, I agree. I miss that old gal. We fall silent. All good with you? I ask after a moment. No point in dwelling on the sad stuff or bad dreams. Kenyani is getting on my nerves a bit. Ivan do this, Ivan do that. But she means well. Kenyana is Ivan's lady friend. Girlfriend? I've never been quite sure what to call it with the gorilla. Kenyana doesn't really approve of me. She thinks I'm a bad influence on Ivan. I like to think she's right. Ivan is 400 pounds of pure power, but Kenyana is 400 times scarier, trust me. I've seen her in a bad mood, and I've also seen her teeth make mine look like toothpicks. Ivan and Kenyani don't have kids, but there are a bunch of baby juvenile gorillas hanging around. They call him Uncle Ivan, and puts up with their antics. Ivan's always been a good sport. If I had a gorilla toddler hanging off of me, I'd be tempted to use my toothpick teeth. Marriage. Ivan and Kenyani are a lot like George and Sarah, as far as I can tell. They grumble. They cuddle. They help each other. They tease each other. Sometimes it looks pretty nice. Still, all in all, when I smell love, I almost always smell worry. Seems like they're tangled together too tightly. Like they'll never unravel. There's a reason I avoid all that mushy stuff. A big difference I have noticed between the two couples is Ivan and Kenyani enjoy eating bugs off each other. George and Sarah, not so much. Tiny but tough. Ivan always seems like nothing scares him. Not even Kenyani, who scares the heck out of me. On the outside, I suppose that's how I look too, tiny but tough. But inside, well, sometimes no matter how hard I try, I can't find that guy to save my life. It's like he's cowering in some corner of my heart. I hate it when that happens. I hate it when I'm the guy my friends think I am, the guy that the world expects. I keep waiting for things to go bad on me, worrying that my nice, tidy little dog life will blow up in my face. I think George is a worrier, too. He'll get up in the middle of the night and head to the kitchen sometimes. His old slippers scuffing the wood floor. I always hear him, always join him. When he opens the fridge, the light spills out like a maple syrup on hot pancakes. Wonderful scents drift my way. Oh, leftover meatloaf, stinky cheese, expired yogurt, and for someone might as well eat, and it seems like that dog is the safest bet. The smells rain around me, and yeah, my tongue starts to hang out, and I nudge George's PJ leg. You can't sleep either, hey? He'll say. Or maybe, I can't tell if you have insomnia or just a very acute sense of smell. Both, actually. I wait. He usually makes himself a peanut butter and jelly with bananas, which is good with me because the crusts are what really is good fun chewing factor going. Now and then, after we eat, we sit back on the porch and George scratches my ears, especially my right one. It's my favorite. I understand his worry. I think George works so hard. His wife was really sick for a long time, and he loves his daughter so much. Sometimes when Julia climbs on the school bus, I'll watch George watching her. All that caring and all that concern is painful to smell, especially the briny scent of the stray tear he'll flick aside with the back of his hand like a sea spray. More than once, George and I have dozed off together. That's the best kind of snooze if you ask me. Good, warm, safe in someone else's arms sleeping. Not talking. Often when I'm with Ivan, we don't even bother talking. We just look at the domain and the green grass and the crazy babies, swaggering juveniles, and the hard-working females, and we think of nothing and everything at the same time. When you've been through the worst with someone, you appreciate the best. That's why sometimes he says, "Hey, Bob." It's enough for me to say, "Hey, Ivan." And then we just sit and listen to the palm trees rustle and watch the sawgrass sway. Brave. Once, when we were still in the mall, I told Ivan how brave I thought he was. The way he put up with everything that had happened to him and never stopped being a good guy. Ivan just looked at me, cocked his big old head of his, and nodded a bit. "That's not brave, Bob," he finally said. "That's just knowledge that I can't change, knowing I can't change." "Well, I call it brave. I call it crazy brave." Ivan held a browning banana up to the light like it was the most beautiful thing he'd ever seen in his long gorilla life. I wondered whether he was going to eat it, draw it. You never know with Ivan. "Seems to me there's lots of ways to be brave, Bob," he said. A tiny mouse named Eek skittered across the cage. "Hey, Eek," said Ivan. "Just checking for crumbs," she said nervously because she always sounded nervous. "Dibs on all the leftovers," I remind her. She looked at me so terrified that I relented. "Over there, behind that old carrot top." "Respect, Bob," she said, scampering off. "Take a small creature like Eek," said Ivan. He scratched his chin with the end of his banana. He did that when he was always being in a philosophical mood. Maybe brave for a mouse is different than brave for me or brave for you. He looked at me fondly. "You're the bravest dog I know, pal." "I ain't brave." I chewed on my tail, avoiding his gaze. You are, Bob, untamed and undaunted, said Ivan. And he chomped off a hunk of the banana, and then he offered the rest to me, but I shook my head. I wasn't feeling hungry. Also, it was mostly just the peel. "That's just my shtick, my routine, you know." I hesitated. "I mean, sure, I'm tough compared to, say, Eek, but that's setting the bar pretty low." "You're too hard on yourself sometimes, Bob." I met his eyes, and he had those dark brown, deep-set eyes. Really, really kind eyes. Eyes that made you want to admit things, confess to your failures. Once, when I was just a pup, I did something. Ivan waited patiently. Ivan is the king of patience. I felt myself dashing dead-end tunnel, and I couldn't escape. I didn't want to go there, not even with Ivan. Never mind, I yawned. I do that when I'm anxious and rambling. "Bob," Ivan said, "are you okay?" You know me, Ivan. I'm always okay. Always." I slipped away before he could ask me anything more.